Welcome to Managed Service Talks. My name is Magda, and today I'm talking with Michał Przybylski, International Managed Service HR Lead. Hi, Michał. Nice to have you here.
Hi Magda, good to be here.
During today's interview, we are going to talk about what is HR Managed Service and why it's becoming a pretty nice option for a number of companies locally and also worldwide. But before we are going to explore it, I want to ask a few questions to Michał to explain his role and also experience within our organization.
Thank you for this opportunity to be here. So I've joined PwC more than 10 years ago. I was still a student by the time I joined, so I started as an intern. And I've been with the many different roles within all those years. So I've been with consulting, more strategic oriented. I've been with deals and M&A. So it helps me in bringing a bit of different perspective to the HR managed services and to managed services in general. So it's not the typical BPO process oriented one, but it's more a strategic and consulting oriented. Yeah.
Mhm. So let's start with the definition, Michał. How do you understand managed services in HR? HR managed service equals payroll and admin. Is it a myth or maybe a reality?
That's a very tough question for a start, I have to admit. But yeah, you are right. So it used to be that people associated and companies and market associated HR managed services mainly with the payroll outsourcing or the basic HR admin processing outsourcing. Yeah, but it has changed. So right now, what I believe in and how I understand HR managed services, it comes with all the processes when you think about the journey of the employee from hire to retire, or sometimes even before, yeah, because it's also about the whole talent acquisition, employer branding, employee experience, etc. Yeah, so basically you can think about any type of processes related to this hire to retire journey that could be labeled as the HR managed services. So it's not only payroll, it's not only HR admin, but it's also talent acquisition, learning and development, training operations, help desks, and much, much more.
So, what has changed recently that the companies, organizations start considering the HR managed service option?
I think the main reason why we see so big movement on the market, because we are receiving a lot of the questions and RFPs from our clients across the world in different locations, is kind of the FOMO, so the fear of missing out. Yeah, so we hear from all the directions that agentic AI will disrupt all the markets, yeah, all the industries, all the processes. We hear about the offshoring, nearshoring, all these buzzwords. Yeah, so there is kind of a question rising in the heads of our clients. So what about me? What about my company? What about my processes? Am I already missing out? So that's why I'm reaching out to us and other HR managed service providers to check, to run the assessments, yeah, whether I'm on a track in terms of our HR managed services processes, my HR processes, or we have to change something.
And what are the key themes those companies are finding out through those assessments?
Yeah, it's a very good question because always the findings are different for each single client, but there is a pattern, I would say. Yeah, so we analyze from a different layers. So first, what about the talent that is needed to run the HR processes inside the organization? Yeah, whether we are operating, the client is operating on a market when there is a scarcity of the right talent, for example, for the payroll, in-house payroll processing, or maybe it's another aspect. So maybe the client is focused and the business goals are oriented to cost cutting, yeah, and to finding and driving the efficiencies to be more competitive in terms of the pricing or the cost structure, yeah. Or from the different angle, maybe they already have some shared service center somewhere in the world, but they are not really happy with the results they are getting. So maybe they struggle with transformation of such centers. So there are different outcomes, but for majority of them, I hope for all of them, we can find a solution and work it out together with the client how to co-develop the solution that will be tailor-made and how we will address all those needs and challenges.
Mhm. So imagine that I'm a client and I'm having a lot of challenges leaning towards now exploring HR managed services option. What value it's going to provide me and what problems it's going to help me solve?
The biggest support that we can bring, that you don't feel anymore that you are alone with this problem. Yeah, so this might be funny, but it's true. We see that. Yeah, so sometimes when you discuss with those clients, we see that they are really struggling. Yeah, they need a support. So they have the resources, they have the assets sometimes, etc. But they need kind of the guidance, maybe a right direction, maybe support. So this where you really can benefit from the HR managed services provider, because we bring few aspects. What we bring is the right talent, because imagine that there is a limited pool of talent in terms of, I don't know, the key agentic AI, HR managed services experts worldwide. Yeah. Another thing is like limited pool of talent in terms of the right shoring concept, etc. Yeah. As a company, often you cannot afford. It's not your core competency to bring and retain this key talent in those areas. But as HR managed services provider, that's our bread and butter. Yeah, we have to get this talent, we have to recruit this talent, and we have to utilize the experience, yeah, to help multiple clients to drive the transformation and to make a real change. Yeah? So that's the one aspect. So it's the right talent. The second one is about the technology. So now you have to invest in the technological transformation, but it's not your core competency to develop and implement the HR managed services tool if you are, for example, a car manufacturer. Yeah. But for us, it's our core competency. That's where we invest a lot of money and effort and our key talents, and we can bring those solutions to our clients. And last but not least, when you think about the delivery centers, yeah, why you have to open them on your own in different locations across the world when we already have those? And we have different. We have acceleration centers with more complex processes where we can handle them. We have delivery centers where it's more about the transactional type of work. So we have all these assets. So we can bring it, combine it, tailor it to our clients, and deliver the best possible experience and results to our clients and their employees.
Thank you so much, Michał. So today, together with Michał, we have unpacked why so many companies are moving into the direction of HR managed services, what value it brings, and what challenges it addresses. Thank you so much, Michał, for the conversation. It was a pleasure.
Thank you, Magda.
We, as always, invite you to follow our managed service video talk series and encourage you to visit our website to explore more. Thank you so much.